Alright, so we're going to describe the transformation based on the parent graph. And so here, we're really looking at these three things in the graph, the 3, the 8, and the negative. So the negative, that makes a reflection over or across the x-axis. So if we were to start with our parent graph here, it'd look like this. And so now we have that negative, and so that negative, the very first thing it does is it reflects our graph over the x-axis. Now that 3, the x plus 3, that's going to be a translation 3 units to the left. Okay, because remember, it's the number that makes that 0. So now we would take this and go 3 units to the left. So now the graph looks like this. And then the last thing is the plus 8. That plus 8 shifts the graph up 8 units. So it would be 8 units up. Now we would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then redraw that shape. So I know I didn't say to graph it, but I wanted to show it. So we describe it to start by reflection over the x-axis, then we shift it 3 units to the left, and then 8 units up. All right, 27, we're going to change the problem just a little bit, make this a 5. Okay, so we have replace the g of x with y equals x plus 3 over 5 minus 4. And so to find the inverse, all we do is we switch the x and y's. So we're going to put the x here, the y here, and now we want to get y by itself. So we add 4 to both sides, and so we get x plus 4 equals y plus 3 over 5. Multiply both sides by 5, and so we get 5x plus 20 equals y plus 3, minus the 3 from both sides, and so we end up with 5x plus 17 equals y, and this would be a function, so our inverse is 5x plus 17. All right, 28, find the inverse. So that instead of writing f of x, we can just write y. So it's y equals negative 2 times the square root of x plus 9 minus 1. To find the inverse, you switch the x and y's. So it's x and y. All right, so now, in order to solve this thing, we're going to add 1 to both sides first because it's outside of the radical. So we get x plus 1 equals negative 2, y plus 9. Now we want to get rid of that negative 2, so we're going to divide both sides by negative 2. And so we have x plus 1 over negative 2 equals the square root of y plus 9. Now we square both sides. And so here I'm going to do x plus 1 quantity squared, which gives me x squared plus 2x plus 1. Negative 2 squared is 4 equals y plus 9. Now we're going to minus 9 to both sides. And so we get x squared plus 2x plus 1 all over 4 minus 9 equals y. And you can actually write this a couple different ways as x squared over 4 plus 1/2 x plus 1/4. And so now that I've separated it, now you can combine the 1/4 and 1/9, or the 1/4 and 9. And so you get x squared over 4 plus 1/2 x minus, so this would be 36 over 4, 35 over 4 is equal to y. And so that would be a, if you were to graph this, you'd have a parabola, so it would pass the vertical line test. And so it is a function.